Arturo Gatti was more than just a boxer. He was a force of nature, a man whose presence electrified every arena he entered. His story is one of passion, pain, and perseverance, a journey that captured the imagination of fight fans around the world. A warrior whose heart beat for the roar of the crowd, Gatti thrived under the bright lights and deafening cheers. Every time he walked down that aisle, you could feel the anticipation in the air. Fans knew they were about to witness something unforgettable. Known as Thunder, he stepped into the ring not just to win, but to give every ounce of himself to the sport he loved. Gatti's fights were never just about the scorecards. They were about heart, about pushing past limits, about leaving everything in the ring. His career was a highlight reel of courage, resilience, and pure action. Each bout was a test of willpower, a showcase of his refusal to back down, no matter how tough the odds. Gatti's legendary trilogy with Mickey Ward wasn't just boxing, it was an epic tale of human endurance. Their battles were brutal, beautiful, and unforgettable, earning a place among the greatest rivalries in sports history. He had a unique ability to absorb punishment and come roaring back, endearing him to millions. Time and again, Gatti would rise from the canvas, battered but unbroken, turning the tide when defeat seemed certain. Born in Italy, raised in Montreal, Gatti carried the hopes of his community and became a symbol of relentless spirit. His roots shaped him, instilling a toughness and humility that resonated with fans from all walks of life. His all-action style made every bout a must-see event. Whether he was the underdog or the favorite, Gatti guaranteed drama, excitement, and a display of sheer willpower that kept audiences on the edge of their seats. Inducted into the International Boxing Hall of Fame, he created unforgettable memories for fans. His legacy is etched in the annals of boxing, celebrated by those who witnessed his greatness and those who continue to be inspired by his story. Gatti was a blue-collar warrior in a sport of kings, loved for his passion and grit. He trained with relentless determination, never taking shortcuts, always pushing himself to the limit in pursuit of greatness. His legacy isn't just about titles, but the inspiration he provided. Young fighters saw in Gatti a blueprint for courage, a reminder that greatness is forged in the fires of adversity. He showed the world that the size of the fight in the dog mattered more than the size of the dog in the fight. Gatti's battles were proof that heart and determination could overcome even the most daunting challenges. Gatti's connection with fans was profound. They saw their own struggles in his battles. He represented hope, resilience, and the belief that anyone could rise above their circumstances. He will always be remembered as one of the most exciting and courageous fighters to ever grace the ring. Arturo, Thunder. Gatti's spirit lives on, inspiring generations to fight with heart, to never give up, and to always chase greatness, no matter the odds. In July 2009, the boxing world was left reeling from a tragedy that no one could have predicted. Arturo Gatti, a beloved former world champion, just 37 years old, was found dead in his hotel room at a Brazilian resort, far from the roaring crowds and bright lights of the ring. What should have been a peaceful family vacation with his wife and young son suddenly turned into a scene of confusion and heartbreak, as authorities rushed to the scene and the world tried to make sense of the shocking news. Gatti's wife, Amanda Rodrigues, was quickly arrested as the primary suspect, her tearful denials broadcast across international news. The world watched in suspense as the investigation unfolded, desperate for answers and hoping for clarity in the midst of chaos. Then, in a stunning turn of events, Brazilian authorities reversed their initial findings, ruling Gatti's death a suicide by hanging, an announcement that sent shockwaves through the boxing community and beyond. This conclusion was met with disbelief and outrage by Gatti's friends, family, and countless fans, who simply could not accept that the fierce, resilient fighter they knew would take his own life. The idea that a man who had battled through so many wars in the ring, who had always found a way to rise from the canvas, would end his story this way seemed unthinkable to those closest to him. The official story left a void in the hearts of many, fueling endless speculation, conspiracy theories, and doubt that linger to this day. Gatti's death was not just the loss of a champion in the ring, it marked the beginning of a painful, enduring mystery that would haunt the sport and his loved ones for years to come. The unanswered questions and swirling rumors surrounding his final moments have cast a long, dark shadow over his legacy, overshadowing even his greatest triumphs. For many, the story of Arturo Gatti feels heartbreakingly incomplete, and the search for truth, about what really happened that night in Brazil, continues, refusing to let his memory rest. Gatti's family and friends never accepted the suicide ruling. They pointed to his love for his son and hired private investigators, who found evidence suggesting homicide, not suicide. The purse strap allegedly used was deemed too weak to support his weight. Conflicting reports from Brazilian police and private experts left two parallel narratives. Was it despair, or a crime never solved? The lack of answers left an open wound for his family and fans. The mystery of Gatti's death remains an unresolved chapter in a life defined by resilience. After his father's tragic death, hope emerged in the form of Arturo Gatti Jr. Growing up in his father's shadow, he inherited not just the name, but the passion for boxing. As a teenager, he trained hard, determined to honor his father's legacy. His coach, Mo Latif, saw real promise. Arturo Jr. was more than a famous name. Videos showed glimpses of his father's spirit in the gym. Living in Mexico with his mother, he balanced training with youth. Just a week before tragedy struck, he posted a carefree photo from Cancun. At 17, he was on the verge of adulthood, carrying the hopes of many. The promise of Arturo Gatti Jr. was a beacon for the boxing community. On October 9, 2025, the boxing world was rocked again. Arturo Gatti Jr., just 17, was found dead in Mexico. The news sent shockwaves through the tight-knit boxing community, a community that had already endured so much heartbreak. For many, it felt like history was repeating itself in the most tragic way imaginable. The details were chillingly familiar, echoing his father's tragic end. Both father and son, taken too soon, their stories now forever intertwined by loss and unanswered questions. The eerie similarities between their deaths left fans and loved ones reeling, searching for meaning in the midst of devastation. Chuck Zito, a close family friend, broke the news, drawing a direct parallel between father and son. His voice trembled as he spoke, unable to hide the pain of reliving a nightmare that had never truly ended for those closest to the Gatti family. Confirmation came from his coach, Mo Latif. Arturo is gone. The words hung heavy in the air, echoing through the halls of the gym where Arturo Jr. had trained, dreamed and grown up under the watchful eyes of those who loved him. Mexican authorities have yet to release official details, leaving the cause and circumstances unclear. Rumors and speculation swirl, but the truth remains elusive, deepening the sense of helplessness and frustration for everyone desperate for answers. The lack of answers has deepened the pain, much like after Gatti Senior's death. Each day without closure is another day the family must endure the agony of not knowing, forced to relive old wounds while grappling with new ones. For a son to die in such a similar way, with so many questions still surrounding his father's passing, is a cruel twist of fate. The parallels are impossible to ignore, and the pain is magnified by the sense of history repeating itself. Old wounds are reopened, and new ones created. The grief is raw, the loss immeasurable, and the community comes together once more to mourn a life cut short, just as they did years ago. The world watched Arturo Jr. grow up, hoping for a new chapter. He carried the weight of his father's legacy, but also the hope of forging his own path, inspiring young fighters and fans alike with his determination and heart. Now, his journey ends before it truly began. The dreams he carried, the promise he showed, all extinguished in a moment, leaving only memories and what-ifs behind. The sorrow is almost unbearable. For his family, friends, and fans, the loss is a heavy burden, a reminder of how fragile life can be and how quickly it can be taken away. The Gatti family's tragedy is compounded, and the search for answers continues. Each candle lit at a vigil, each photo held close, is a testament to the love and longing that remain. 2 lives, 2 mysteries, 1 heartbreaking legacy. The world mourns not just the loss of a promising young fighter, but the enduring pain of a family haunted by tragedy, still waiting for the truth. News of Arturo Gatti Jr.'s death sent shockwaves through the boxing world. The Gatti name, already sacred, became a symbol of double tragedy. Jean Pascal, a fellow Montrealer, captured the grief. 16 years after losing his father, the world loses another Gatti, both gone too soon. Chuck Zito's emotional post underscored the chilling similarities. Friends and fans mourned not just a young talent, but the loss of hope for a new Gatti legacy. Social media overflowed with tributes, painting a picture of a loved and promising young man. The boxing community felt the loss as if it were their own. Commentators and fighters alike grieved for a future cut short. The outpouring of sorrow showed how deeply the Gatti legacy is woven into the sport. The community united in mourning, sharing a loss that felt both personal and universal. The Gatti family's pain is unimaginable, losing both father and son, 16 years apart, under hauntingly similar circumstances. The name Gatti, once a symbol of courage, is now tied to profound tragedy. Friends and the boxing community are forced to relive old trauma while facing new grief. This double loss magnifies the sorrow, leaving a void that can never be filled. Behind the legend and the promise were real people, now gone. Their deaths strip away the celebrity, revealing the raw pain left behind. The unanswered questions create a sense of helplessness. The Gatti family and their supporters mourn not just the lives lost, but the peace that may never come. These tragedies force us to confront the importance of mental health, especially in a world that celebrates toughness. Fighters are conditioned to hide pain, making it hard to seek help. The Gatti story is a call to action. We must prioritize mental health as much as physical strength. Open conversations, support systems, and removing stigma are essential. If you or someone you know is struggling, reaching out is a sign of strength. Let the Gatti legacy remind us to nurture our mental and emotional well-being. We must build a world where no one fights their toughest battles alone. As we mourn, let's remember the Gattis for their strength, not just their tragedy. Arturo Sr. was a warrior whose heart and courage inspired millions. He gave us unforgettable moments and a fighting spirit that lives on. Arturo Jr. carried his father's name with hope and determination, dreaming of his own legacy. Their lives remind us of the power and fragility of the human spirit. Let's honor their memory by celebrating their passion and the light they brought to the world. May they find peace together, remembered not for how they left, but for how they lived. Their fire will continue to burn in the hearts of all who knew their names. Let us remember them, father and son, as champions who left an indelible mark. May they rest in eternal peace.